Okay, because we know tomorrow's not promised.
It's
So we
not.
have to make it count today. Okay,
Today.
today, not tomorrow, today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with all this in mind, we're gonna do our introductions. Okay, so Margaret Williams here. I help women to uh, who have been marginalized. Okay, to elevate their voice, stop
Important work.
surviving power systems. Yes, and to start leading with freedom, influence, and authority. And who better to talk to me today but my homie Emmett here?
How you
Okay,
doing? I'm back.
hey, yes. And I
So
saw you on somebody's
I think it
whatever.
was
Uh,
MS Kahoot, maybe.
yes, yes. She got a lot of fire too, and I'm
Oh
like, you
man,
go, girl.
she
Boom,
is.
boom,
She's
boom. You know,
tough. She's tough.
TKO. Okay,
Yes,
right?
she does.
Yeah, when you go to I grew up in Detroit. I wasn't born there, but I was born in Ann Arbor. So in the middle of
Ann
what
Arbor.
we're
Hey, I got family over that way.
hey, what's up? That's what I said. Go blue. Okay, in the middle of Washington, no, it's Woodward Avenue and Jefferson. They had the fist of Joe Louis up there. Okay, Joe
That's right.
Louis. He was a champion. Okay,
Oh,
and
I'm
so
sure.
right? And so are each of us. And don't you forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right. So Emma here, all right, he is an author, a yoga teacher, and an advocate who shares his lived experience within the Florida prison systems, okay?
Ooh.
To
Yeah.
highlight the human stories behind incarceration. Okay, and I have to take my hat off to you because for you, you know, that says a lot. Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that I have done as far as incarceration.
Okay.
I went to Alcatraz 1 year. Okay, because
What?
the government, yeah,
That's where I'm
the
from. That's where I was born, San Francisco. Moved to Florida when I was a baby, but after the earthquake. But yeah,
wow, we got more in common than you thought. So they
yeah.
sent me to this class in Sacramento, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do to go over to San Francisco to
Yeah.
go to Alcatraz. That's one of the most favorite things to do, other than going to that wax factory where where they got all the
Yeah.
the celebrities and stuff like that. I went there
Celebrity
too.
wax figures.
Yeah, right. I forgot what you called the doggone place because I went to the one they
Me
have
too.
in Amsterdam too. But anyway, uh, Alcatraz, I went through there. They give you the tape.
Hmm.
Okay, you put on the tape, and you can hear. So it's like you going through there. It's like
Whoa,
you.
like you're immense, like inside.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, yeah. And then
I've never been to Alcatraz. I want to go.
well,
I do want to go though. So much
okay,
history
okay.
too.
It is, and they made a movie about that. Was it Birdman or something? I,
Hey,
it was some
Birdman,
prison.
Escape
Some
from
some of the
Alcatraz.
most.
What was that dude's
Yeah,
name?
right.
Um,
Well, anyway, it's something to look
yeah.
up, okay, for later. But anyway, I wanted to tell you, I went there, and then the thing that gets you the most is when you hear the what you call it, the thing close. What you call it? Not the
Oh, that.
gate, but
Okay.
the whatever. When
The
it
bars
closes
like
you.
slam
Yeah, the
shut.
bars. Yeah,
Welcome,
it slams shut. I like, oh my
welcome.
god. Because if you claustrophobic, okay, so all right, I don't have to. I don't. I think people get the drift. And the other thing that I used to watch on TV. Okay, I used to watch Oz.
Oh,
I know
Oz.
you used. Yeah, it was about the
Listen,
Oswell Maximum Correction Facility. Okay, it went on. I think it was an HBO series from
HBO, HBO. They said
nineteen
it.
ninety seven
Yeah,
to 2003, and I'm telling you, oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Okay, I like
Oz
damn. I
went pretty
said,
hard.
yeah, I never want to go to jail because I got a very bad temper. Okay, and if you come
Oh
for
man, they
me.
might drag you to confinement then. Oh,
But what I was told, if you go to jail, you find the biggest, baddest person in there and you beat them down. Once you beat them down, then you don't have no problem. Then that person becomes your, you know what, and you
yeah,
let them handle the light stuff after that. Like you go over there and beat that ass and put her in a place. Okay?
yeah.
And
Even
when you
some
come back,
lawyers
bring
will
my
tell you
steak
that
back here.
advice.
Yeah, I'm sure that Martha Stewart learned a lot when she went to prison.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I bet she did. She was in the federal too. She probably learned how to make more money.
She did. She had all the fans in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And the other one that I used to watch was Orange is the New Black. Oh
Hey,
my God.
I love that. Yo, and truth be told, Orange is the New Black. There's a lot of like phantasmal stuff going on, but at the same
Oh my
time,
God.
what they do is like blend real issues, real things, but they kind of make light of it sometimes. But then, man, they come so hard with it because it's a balancing act. You can't overload people and tell like the full truth, shove it down their throat. You kind of got to like, especially, you know, it was a Netflix show. And, but one thing I do respect, she really wrote an amazing book and how it went into just these different characters. And you really get to see the lives of these women inside prison that she knew nothing about. And just, she just connected, man. It was awesome.
It was 7 seasons. Oh my God. It was
Yeah.
action packed the
Yeah.
whole time. I like, y'all go.
She better watch out because I'm coming for a blurb from her.
Okay. Okay. So I don't want to take off from that, but I just thought these things, was good to
No,
talk about to lead into your amazing story.
well, thank you. Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah, and you know, I remember when I first came in, I was so young and I was inside a dorm where you had to have at least 10 years to be inside of it. I mean, that was the require like you couldn't be in this location without at least having 10 years. So I was 21, no, I was 22. And yeah, that whole you do think like that. I liked how you said go up to the biggest person and hit them in the face, and because your mind really is it thinks that that is something you have to do. And I went in kind of
It is.
with a
It is if you want to survive.
mentality. Yeah, I went in with the jib mentality. I remember the first time I like came inside the dorm, instantly went to the back. My bunkie was a like this rapist dude. He had one leg. It was crazy. I wrote a whole chapter about it, but it was really intense. But he was trying this one kid who was Spanish, but he looked like a little like white dude, and man, he was all over him. But me and this dude go back to the back to smoke a cigarette, and this is when I smoked. They still sold cigarettes in the DOC back then. They don't now, but I go back to the back and I'm go to use the bathroom, and there's like tons of urinals just standing there. And then this dude just comes up right next to me and is using the bathroom. And I was young and I thought I needed to prove myself. So I'm instantly like Pitbull, like, man, what you doing standing so close to me, bro? Like, what the hell, man? And he was like, I was just trying to pee, man. Like, and I don't know, but I didn't punch him. I didn't do anything like that. Where I ended up proving myself was down the line with the one leg rapist guy. He started trying to throw salt packets on my bunk, like for chow hall when they called chow, and I was like, bro, I don't want your salt packets. And well, it's an intense story, man. And I ended up, I guess, proving my bones that day, and
Okay.
then later on with a psycho officer, I ended up doing more. So yeah, you gotta. It's a balancing act, and because one thing about prison, you go in acting like you're the biggest, toughest, macho person there ever was. You're gonna have to live like that. You're gonna have to show exactly that's who you are, because there's no hiding. You know, people lie in prison. People say, "Oh, I was a drug dealer. Oh, I was this. Oh, I was this," and half the time it's bullshit, but the other half of the time is real. And someone will call you out on whoever you're trying to portray yourself to be. So my thing was make it home, stand up for yourself, don't become a victim, But at the same time, don't look for problems. But if a problem comes to you, address it, handle
Right
yourself.
away. Right away. Nip it in the bud.
Yeah, yeah. Especially Florida, man. Florida is a different animal. Yeah, so all these, you hear people all the time talking about Florida and this and that and Florida this, and a lot of people don't want to associate with people from Florida or something, but there's just, I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, Florida is a climate where there's so many different people, and a lot of people move to Florida. So you have all these different people from these cities and this city and this place. And then you have racism at the core of it, man. And it's so hard. And within our prison system, racism is just everywhere. I mean, it runs under this new Jim Crow philosophy, and real active people in power are KKK members. And I'm not just speaking that out of thin air. I mean, that's been documented. People know this, and yet they don't do anything about it. And then they elect the same people back into power, or someone runs some different story, but it's real, and it's really messed up though.
Let
Wow,
me
I
ask
can go
you.
on, man. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. This administration is talking about privatizing the system. So what is that going to do for the inmates? Pros and cons of doing that.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. For the inmate, I mean, when you say for the inmate, privatized prisons, they're better because the officers don't call you inmate, they call you sir. There's more respect between the officers and inmates. And then they have different programs, but let's not get it twisted. They are there to make profit. And so I think in what is it? In one of these counties here in Florida, there's a private prison. There's only a few private prisons right now in Florida, but they're building more. And they have a contract with the state to where they have to, their contract says, we're going to pay you for 90% occupancy. So that they need to fill, they're paying for at least 90% of the bed space at this facility. So the incentive is to fill those beds. Do you know what I
That's the
mean? The
Yeah, but
incentive
that's
is to make sure the beds have somebody in there because they're paying for it whether or not. So these prisons, they're building more. But let me get back to for the inmate. For the inmate, the food's better, than state-run facilities. You have a lower risk of an officer killing you. And so there's pros and cons. The pros are for the inmate is kind of better. But then at the same time, for an inmate sometimes likes that dangerous climate where they can move out between dorms. Inside a private facility, they're locked down all the time usually. And they can't interact with other dorms and other people. So that kind of like creates this bubble, and you can become violent. And then private facilities and all these different facilities, drugs are flooded into it. So everyone's messed up. So there's like pros and cons. I wouldn't have wanted to be in a private facility just because they keep you there and you don't really get to interact with too many other people other than the dorm you're in. I mean, you eat there. You don't go to chow hall. They bring your food to you, and it's just, I don't know. I'm glad I never went to a private facility, even though I heard really good things about them. Like as far as like the officers won't kill you. I mean, that's a plus. But I'm sure
it
that happens
is.
there too. But it's just less likely. And state facilities are horrible. You know, but I don't like that they're privatizing prisons to make money and lock people up.
That's That's the point that I was trying to allude to. You want 90% occupancy. So are you going to utilize ICE to do roundups on all these states and to bring all the people to these private prisons to make sure that they're at 90% capacity?
I'm not sure if
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
when it comes to like ICE, in the Florida prison system, there's certain facilities like Columbia CI is one that has like an ICE like area for like
Okay.
sending
Okay.
people, like say you commit a charge or you commit a crime, you go to prison, and then the US is like, you aren't allowed back in our country. We're shipping you home. And I've seen that a lot with like some of my friends. Now, I don't know if they just round people up like what they're doing now in Florida. Like Orlando's real bad. They're picking up a lot of people with ICE. And I'm not sure if they're going to those prisons or if they have their own separate facilities. And that's the scary part, because these prisons make money and
Hmm.
they get government funding for this. And then when they open these new ICE centers, which these are the new money makers. Because they're like, okay, man, we have this many illegals or this many people that aren't documented here. We're doing, we can use this. We can make a lot of money on this. And then they're gonna get in touch with their shareholders, their people, and all these, and it's just a money thing. I don't think they care who's really here or not. It's more about money.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. So,
And they know the situation of the immigration situation before they got in. They
oh
did
no,
this purposely to make all of this money.
I
They know where all the illegal
no doubt.
immigrants stay
And
and where they.
that's what's so cool about Orange is the New Black. They weren't
Mhm.
lying when they're going to those when what's the guy, he worked in the prison that what was his name? Damn. He was the guy that the girls would come and get counseled by, and then he moved up to be like the warden and all this of the facility, and then he got to see the privatized prison aspect, what they did just to privatize it, and then even further they went into the to like ICE and detention of illegals and all this stuff. And that show literally puts it right in front of you, those programs where they're going to like these fairs, like these state fairs of like different corporations trying to sell their product, trying to sell their institutional ideas and all this bullshit. That's real. And
Mhm.
they make it look fake in that show. They make it look like, oh, like, is that really real? Like, you question yourself, man, do they really do it? No, they really are doing that. They really are really doing that. And they do not look at anyone from prison or ICE as people. You aren't like that number. That's just a form of identification. They don't even care about your number either. You're just a freaking dollar sign. And I don't care. Anyone can have their own beliefs. They can think what they want, but that is real. It's happening right now. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, and how you think the drugs and alcohol and all these things are getting into jail?
Oh
Oh,
my
okay.
goodness. Oh my God. And then they
Yeah.
and then they're like trying to shut down in Florida. They're trying to shut down all communication with written mail. You can't even write a letter anymore. It gets scanned and then goes into a email system. And first off, you got to have credits to access. Like, you can read this mail that gets sent to you, but you got to have credits to send your letter out. You have to have credits to send stamps. Now your family can't even send you stamps in the mail, because that's one of the big things that families used to do for their people that they loved, they cared about. They would pack your envelope with at least 10 stamps. And that was like currency within the prison system as well. And also an opportunity for you to write a letter to your loved one, write a letter to your mom. And now you can't even do that.
Well, how do you make phone calls then?
Oh, well, they have like PayPal and all this. Well, they've got what the hell is it called, man? Damn it. Securus is such a scam. And that's what all this is really about, is just like bleeding. And that's what I say. It's and when someone gets locked up, when I got locked up, I was so selfish back then. I didn't think about consequences, or I thought about consequences, but only how it pertained to myself. I took a lot of things for granted, but what I didn't know at that time was how much I was hurting my family, how much that it affected them monetarily, personally, emotionally, all these different things. And when you see with your own eyes your family getting bled for their hard-earned money just to get on the phone to call you, or just to send a freaking letter to you, that did something to me. It made me just, at first it really broke me to like, wow, man, what the fuck, man. And then now this day and age, like I have friends in prison still. They're like, oh boy, you lucky you ain't here right now. Shit's horrible. You can't, they just tell horror stories of what's going on right now. In Florida, you've got they're so understaffed that they have sometimes the damn National Guard going into these facilities and running these facilities for them because there's nobody to work them. And then what does that do? What does that say
Morale
about
is just down. I'm
what is
sure
that?
morale is down.
It's so down. And then, a lot of these guys that I knew that were inside with these military personnel, they're like, man, they're cool as hell. They're bringing in tons of dope. Like, what? And that's just the mindset that's so troubling, because damn, what's making this bad situation horrible is these people being subjected to more drugs, to more opportunities to fuck your life up. And it's so,
ODs are up. I'm sure the
oh
ODs are
geez,
up.
yeah. Oh man, ODs, yeah. Oh, when I was inside, they would be bringing one of those like little buggies where you pick people up, put them on the stretcher. They'd bring a stretcher on the compound almost 3 times a day, sometimes more than that, of people just shaking, falling out, or whatever the hell. And it's usually like,
Convulsions,
yeah,
convulsions, and
it's hard.
seizures.
Seizures. And then half the time, a lot of these guys, they'll smoke and just fall out. It's just a terrible environment to like be in. And then these officers, like even some of the officers, some of them were killers and whatnot, but a lot of them like identified with like the troubling situation going on inside. And I'm sure that's all across this country, of these officers being put into an environment that's so difficult. And then at the same time, they have to like at least not become a victim themselves. And it's just so troubling to like witness, like, first off, it's never cool to just like hurt somebody, kill somebody, or whatever. But prison desensitizes you. Even out here on the streets, it's desensitizing. There's certain
Yes.
environments, there's poverty issues that desensitize you. And then you get thrown into an environment that is at the I mean, you can't get more desensitized than an environment like prison.
No.
So it takes an incredible individual to really like and I'm not speaking about me. I'm speaking about anybody like that has survived that, whether you're an officer, an inmate, a medical staff, or doctor that's in there, nurse, you know, anybody, to like push through that and then still care about others, because it takes that right from your soul if you allow it. And yeah, it's fucked up.
So talk to us how you found solace and how you was able to make it out in one piece, okay, and heal from all of that.
Well, yeah, that's a great story. Sometimes I read my memoir and I'm like, damn, who is this dude? Like, I just had the trimmed version, like edited and trimmed, and it took out a lot of the other stories. And I'm like, man, that guy's, man, he's incredible. Man, they make me look real good in this. But no, seriously, taking it back, what really started my growth, I would say, was my mom. First off, straight soldier, straight, just always believed in me, and she showed that time and time again. And then while I was inside the county, it really started very early when I was in the county facing life, and she would send me these books, and I fell in love with reading. I fell in love with the letters of the alphabet. I just it was like a portal to another world. And she sent these books. One was City of Thieves by David Benioff. And I just started reading some stories that, though my situation was really difficult, what I was going through, but I put myself there. I did that. These stories that I was reading about were circumstances that the individual had no control about. It was war. It was famine. It was this. And these stories shaped my world to understand that what I'm going through is tough, but there are people that have survived way worse. And I know pain, troubles we all face is relative to the individual, but it just opened my eyes to something new, something beautiful, something that inspired me. So, my mom, books, inspiration. And then about 4 years into me being in maximum security prisons, and I got shipped a bunch, confinement all the time, and you know, I started to develop, after seeing officers kill some of my friends or witnessing cover-ups and murders, I started to develop this intense hatred for our staff, for officers. And it didn't matter if it was an officer that was nice, pleasant, or did a prayer for the dorm every night. My attitude was like, you're one and the same. And that's a crippling mindset. So I said, I I hated them a lot. And hate destroys. And when I discovered yoga, now I'm all about righteous anger. You can be damn sure righteous anger, especially like with, movements can build and build and bear fruit from righteous anger. I agree with that 100%, but just hating someone or hating a situation, it only can destroy and it festers and it takes part of your soul. What helped me the most was when I discovered yoga. And that happened by, it was just, it changed my life. I discovered yoga because I used to, do like little friendly fights between different dorms, and I got kicked in the leg, and I ended up getting sent to a medium security prison. And this guy, he's like, man, I mean, I was walking in to visit. My dad thought something happened to me. I was like, Dad, nothing happened to me, man. Like, chill out with that. Because I was hobbling around looking real bad. And but a friend came to me and he said, man, there's this meditation class up there. I think it would heal your leg, man. We have this one video that we sometimes put on, and it's just like some yoga stuff. And I was like, man, don't try me with any yoga. What are you talking about, man? I don't want to. And so I brushed him off, and then I came to him later, was like, because my leg hurt so bad. I said, man, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. And I went up there with him, and they put on this little video, and I said, man, Okay, I'm doing yin yoga. I'm holding this stretch for 4 minutes, watching this dude just like hold these stretches. And I swear it was the first time everything just went away. Like that need to protect myself, the need to always be on guard, the need to, I didn't think about home too often because I was so, I was living it at the time. But all that went away too. And I had like a moment of just like, I don't know if that's a state of nirvana or whatever, but I felt like extreme bliss for even where I was at. And I knew it was important to me. So I get on the phone with my mom. Hey, send me some yoga books. And she's like, yoga? Okay, I'll send you some. She sent a book called Light on Yoga. Man, the rest is history. It's in my book, man. And it's a real cool story. But, and then just a never, I think another thing that helped me the most was just never giving up, even when it was hard. When I was being, I got sent to a confinement in at Swanee CI in 2012, and we call 2012 at Swanee CI the death year because more deaths were being, we were victimized by guard brutality and stuff during that year, and a lot of people died, a lot of cover-ups were done, and it was terrible. Well, I was tortured there, and and I don't mean just like, oh, they didn't give me a tray to eat, or they didn't do, you know, they didn't give me necessities like a toothbrush and stuff. I mean, like tortured. And I say that to say this. I became angry, but I know down the line, after I discovered yoga, after I started teaching yoga and helping all these hundreds of different individuals find their way, I got sent to confinement again. And that time I was in confinement, I didn't let torture phase me. I didn't let anger warp my mind further. I remember anybody that came into cell, because in Florida prisons, you usually share your confinement cell with another individual. So when they would come into my confinement, we're doing some fucking yoga, bro. And like, we're doing yoga, and man, it didn't stop. I didn't ever stop trying to help somebody. If I saw someone hurting or whatever, man, we're doing. I remember a guard walking by our cell, and their guards are messing with us because we're on the ground doing, like, I'm teaching this dude stretches and we're doing all this stuff. They're calling us snow angels and stuff. And the one of the guys I was teaching, this one guy's name was Brandon. He was a real hothead. He at the time when he came in, he was so angry, like, fuck you, trying to fight officers, trying to do whatever. He had confinement for like 300 days already, and he just kept catching more DRs. And then I ended up teaching him yoga. And it was so funny, man. You could see the change just even in those little moments where this guy's not cussing out officers anymore. He's taking self-inventory, and he's learning new skills, and it's just a remarkable thing, man. And I'm not saying like everyone needs to be doing yoga or doing anything. Like, find that thing that makes you passionate about life. Find that thing, whether it's writing, whether it's reading, whether it's like being an activist, going hard for what you believe in, like that's real, and that helps people. And just never let it warp you into something that you can't be proud of later on down the road. So yeah, I don't
Now,
know. Yeah, so I'm a talker, so it's my bad.
no,
And then
it's good. It's good because I have a couple more questions for you. Now,
okay.
talk to us about the rehabilitation because I had a cousin. He went to jail, and every time he came out, he stayed less than a year, and he ended up back in jail. A lot of prisoners do that because you used to getting 3 square meals in jail. You know how things go, and when you get out, it's a lot of things that you have to worry about. How you're going to get a job, who's going to hire you, and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. And so,
Prison,
talk about
prison.
that.
Yeah. What I feel about coming home, that's where the real sentence starts. Prison becomes so familiar, it becomes so easy. And then even being threatened with, you'll go back to prison. You're like, I survived that. I ain't worried about that. The shit I lived through over there, you won't even believe. So, like, I can't even talk to you because you can't relate to what the heck that was. So you just already have this mindset that, I've already, what are you going to do? Lock me up? And that's a terrible mindset to have. You know, when I came home, okay, first in Florida, I don't know what other states do, if they offer like opportunities. There are some institutions where they do have like trade programs, but a lot of guys, they want better than just doing the everyday hustle and muscle like I'm doing. You want it too fast. A lot of you get out and you just think you have all these plans. You've sat there on your rack for years and years developing a plan, a strategy. And these are the people that are trying. There's a lot of people that don't try. They go to prison, they get out, they're living the same way they lived when they were out to when they were in. Oh shit. I don't know why my mom's calling me right now. I thought
It's
she was watching this.
it's all good.
um, yeah. Okay, so they didn't have like programs. There were some programs
Really.
that, like, seriously, it just teaches you how to be at a job interview. Like, how is that really going to help me? How is that going to get my financials together or learn how to banking? The best programs that are created are through individuals incarcerated. They design their own programs, like real things that will help you when you get released. And those are the ones that I found the most like fruit from. But when I came home, I started teaching yoga immediately. I was teaching at 3 different studios. I got certified. I went to Miami, got certified. New York, got certified. I became certified through the ISSA for like physical fitness training. And, I wanted it. I had passion. And, for me, I had a family that cared about me. They loved me. They wanted me to be better. Did they understand exactly what I was going through? No, but they did want me to be better. And when I first came home, my thing was, I don't need any help. I don't want help. And that is a catalyst for sometimes disaster for the inmate when he gets home, because you're so inside prison. You have this mindset that I'll survive anything, I'll get through anything, I don't need help. So when it's time to really ask help, a lot of times you've already burnt so many bridges to where people really believe that like you're really trying anymore. So that's one issue. But for me, I wanted it too fast. I became impatient. And coming home, I talk to a lot of military friends and stuff, and they say the same thing after they've come home from service or they retire. And it's just not, you don't know how to talk about it with someone who hasn't lived it, because it's like it's a separate world. And then like bringing those two worlds together again and finding peace is a very difficult thing to do, especially when trauma's involved, when and all these other things get involved. So your will, I wouldn't say diminishes, but you operate then in the gray, I'd say, instead of like like your whole world's been kind of in the gray. And then coming home, and I speak only for myself, I started really not resenting people trying to help me, but just them not really understanding what I was going through, what that really what caused me, and it was something that was so, and I can't blame them for not understanding, but it is because it was something that I couldn't even identify myself. Like, here I am working, I'm making money, I'm doing great, but inside my soul was being crushed because, and then the only way to get out of it, you feel, is like to make more money or to do this or to start a new like business, or because when you see this, like what success is, you have this idea of what success is, but the but true success starts from within.
Oh my God. Yes, yes,
And you
yes.
can't master success without being successfully within. So that was the true defining moment when my life started to change, is when I really started to take notice that my life's all jacked up. I can't, how can I be successful if I'm not feeling well inside? And I want to just take the time to say that mental health is a real thing that a lot of people face, and a lot of people stay closed lip about it, but it's a it's a real thing. And I just salute everybody just out there trying to push each day and move forward. And there
Yes.
is help. There are people that will help you, and I know it feels scary and you might feel alone, but I'm telling you,
You
I was
never,
messed up. I was messed up after about a year and a half. And,
but
I
but you
wanted it.
but you're never alone, and you know that, right?
Right.
And one day at a time. We know that too. One day at a time. And Bob Lewis wanted to know, what's the name of your book?
Count Time. My memoir is called Count Time. And it's not published yet because, I mean, when I first started writing my memoir, my story, it was actually to get back in touch with the person that I've ended up loving and respecting inside prison. I built this person, and then when I came home, I couldn't even identify with the person that I loved and respected anymore. So I just chose to write, and I started sending chapters to my mom, to a few people, just to read, to be like, hey, this is what happened to me. And they were like, this is good. This should be a book. And at the time, I was so messed up. I got halfway through, and when I got to the yoga part, I couldn't even identify with with him, with that Emmett, that version of Emmett. I was not him anymore. I couldn't go back into like how great I felt, and how motivational and inspired I was. I was so like torn apart. So I quit writing, and I wrote this book, and it was a 250,000 word monster of a book. And then the editing process began. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to turn it into I didn't even know about the term memoir like that. And, so I ended up writing a memoir. Now it's 79,799 words. It's ready to be published. I'm ready to get offered representation. I'm going to keep fighting, keep pushing. I'm going to keep sharing my story, keep lecturing at colleges, and it's going to happen because my mindset knows it's going to happen. I know it is. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit, and I can't wait for everybody out here to read it. You know, and
Yes,
it's not just
yes,
a prison
yes.
story. It's a story that can, when I do these talks, when I give lectures, yeah, I'm sharing my story, but it's something we can all relate to because we're all human. We've all made mistakes. And just because you haven't lived the same life I lived doesn't mean you aren't battling something right here that's so, but this book is for like, it's so hard because, an agent, they're trying to lock you into a niche. Like, what is it? Who's it really for? I'm like, man, my book's for everybody, but they hate when I say that. And I fought them really hard on it and was going to self-publish because I didn't want to take any chapters out. But hey, here we are. Let me. My mom's texting me. She might be wanting me to. It was fine. Um, okay. Okay. Sorry. That was
No,
one of
it's all
my
good.
main supporters. She- my mom, my fiance, everyone. A lot of people believe in me, and I believe in a lot of people. I believe in you. You got a great story. I mean, dude, God, there's just so much that we can do as people. And I get it. We all have our causes, but what can we really accomplish? What I just wish everyone would. I just want everybody to get together. Maybe that's just an impossible thing, but man, I just feel like we can we can overcome a lot if we, you know.
Yes, we can. That's what Martin Luther King said. We shall overcome.
That's
Okay,
right.
I've overcome a lot of shit.
Hmm.
Okay, we each and every one of us have, and we need to be cognizant of that, and we need to be grateful.
Grateful. That's a big thing. For me, that was a big thing. Becoming grateful. Like not taking things for granted. There are so many like incredible stories, incredible people out here. And one thing that I love about Substack that's different than like any platform that I've encountered. It's just like the community, how people do want the best for you that I've noticed. And it's it's really cool to see because it doesn't feel fake. And one thing that I've always respected is a real person. It doesn't matter. I'd rather someone be an asshole every day. At least I know you're an asshole. But don't be fake, man. Come on. I don't like that fake
Okay,
shit. you know?
that turns me off more than anything else, and you can sense the fakeness.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. It's
uh,
a and that
yeah,
that yeah, that's like some snaky. I don't like snaky, that's mm-mm.
you
And
know,
but unfortunately, that's something that a lot of us do have to deal with. We have to
right.
deal with people just trying to get it in. And that's why a lot of times it's hard for others to want to help you because they may want to help you, but they think it's for some other reason than what it really is. So it makes it like, why would I do that? I've been burnt 100 times trying to help someone, and then here you are, and you may be full on telling the truth. You are in your soul. You're a good person. You know what you're doing, but at the same time, it makes that like, okay, I'm gonna use my platform. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna do this for you because I believe in you. It takes someone's like belief system away, and I think that's just horrible that we as humans have that ability to deceive, to like be fake, to like have a different motive than like being upfront. And I don't know, but I guess that's the way of the world. I don't think that's the way of the world. I think that's what that might be being taught to us to believe that that's how it is, but that is not how it is. That is not how people really operate.
Well, that could be a whole topic in itself. So what
Right?
I would,
Sorry.
okay, no, but that's why that's why concernment is so important. Okay, and boundaries.
Yeah,
Okay,
boundaries. That's one thing I had to set up. Like, so I came home August 2018 on the 21st. Like I said, I jumped into making my life count. This is before count time. But I jumped right into it, and yeah, I ended up making a lot of mistakes down the way. Um, but when my life fell apart in 2021, I mean, if it fell apart, uh, I realized I had the sense of mind to like internalize what the hell I was doing, not only to myself, but to my family, to other individuals. And I made a decision right then and there. Okay, I do need help. I need it. I need it so bad that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to change my life. And I just went to I went straight to a counseling center. Got found. Luckily, I found a counselor that was just, she really helped me. And I really trusted her. And she probably thought I was a madman because I went in there really, really out there. And but she really helped me. And then I locked myself down. I set a lot of boundaries. I cut off a lot of relationships that were very important to me, not because like I don't even like this individual or whatnot, because it wasn't leading me into the direction of a successful, fulfilled life. And it was really hard, but I did it. And then luckily, I even went as far as like, hey, mom, can I sign my finances or like power of attorney over to you guys and move back in with you? I'm going to sell my car, get rid of my bike. I'm going to do whatever it takes to stop this that's inside of me from losing control ever again. And they, they, they did. And I ended up finishing my book then. And then the editing process began. I continued to work very hard every day. Um, and remarkable things happened, like discovering love, discovering self-love again. I got back into doing my yoga because when I was a wreck, I quit doing yoga, something that saved the foundation of who I thought I was. And you know, we are all capable of like going inside ourselves and saying, hey, something has to change here. And nobody can change for me. We can't force anybody to change, but we can change ourselves. And that was something that became a mission of mine. And luckily to this day, I still live by that. And just want to, and now I'm at a point where I can like help others too. And that brings me so much peace, because when I was inside prison teaching these guys yoga and watching the violence on the compound go down, or watching this guy's back stop hurting just from me giving him a few yoga poses, like it did something for my soul. And I just hope that everybody out here finds that soul remedy to change your life. you know, yeah. Oh, my girl, what's up?
Your story is just, it's just so transformational. And what Nebanita said, she said something about we are prisoner of our own mind.
That's one thing I preach. That's one thing I preach. That's what my book is basically about. And I gotta give a shout out to, there's this dude who wrote a book called his name is Shaka Senghor, man. He wrote this powerful book about the prison of the own mind. And he did prison. He went to confinement for years in a row. Like he was in confinement for so long, and now he uses his story to help others. But I remember when I first heard about his book, because I do talks, I give speeches, and I've been to book conferences pitching my story. And when I saw this book about the prison of the own mind, I was like, man, did he take my that's what I was saying, man. That's what I've been talking about, what my book been about. And but that was me kind of spinning out like, come on, man, this guy didn't take your idea or whatever. Like, come on, give him the benefit of the doubt. This dude's a real person too. And that's the truth. We all have this prison in our mind that puts us into a confinement, and finding those keys is the most important, valuable thing we can do for ourselves. Is like freeing our minds from these harsh prisons. You don't have to be in prison. That's one thing I always tell people, especially with my story. Your pain, your suffering, what you're going through is every bit as important as mine. Everything. That's where the like you, we all have stories. None of them are less important than the other. I don't want to judge somebody just from what I see because I don't know their story. I don't know. Now, do I respect people committing crimes? No, I don't. And that's not right. That is not right. What I did was not right. And I have to accept that. And I just hope my story can help others see that you don't have to commit crimes. You don't have to, or you don't have to be confined in your mind to where you hurt yourself or you hurt others. We there is help there available. It's just like how you gotta want it. You gotta really fight for it. Uh, Anyways, yeah. Sorry, man. I'm just
No, no, no. You don't have to apologize for anything. And I see your Hamza on the wall behind you. Your
yeah.
Hamza on the wall. Yeah, I got one when I was in Israel, and I brought it back home. And I have one, a
Uh-huh.
smaller one. I have a
Yeah.
smaller one on the wall. Okay.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
fiance's mom actually gave her that, and we put that up. It's just a little it's a little peaceful thing. It just makes me feel better. I like it up there.
Yes, yes. This has been a remarkable conversation. I don't know if
Yeah.
judges get kickbacks for filing these prisons too. Private prisons are bullshit and racist.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so racist, man. I
Yeah,
believe.
right.
Yeah.
And
It, because I mean,
and oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, I mean, look who is mostly getting locked up, man. It's fucked up. It's a
Yeah, right.
and it's people in poverty, people in that are of color most likely, and dude, like, come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, and then people want to judge. People want to judge environments and this and that.
They don't have a clue. They
And
don't.
they
They
don't
don't
have a
even
clue.
know.
They can't even put themselves inside because it's so unidentifiable that it just doesn't make sense to them. This way of life that it just doesn't make sense.
They need to shut the hell up. That's what they need to do.
For real. For real. Man, you walk down the city of Baltimore or Detroit or even in New Orleans when I lived out
Chicago.
there, man, or California, man, this shit is real, and it's like so messed up that there are profiteers just trying to profit from it
Of
and
course.
build private prisons, create ice centers, create this, and it's just
Alligator,
how greedy.
Alligator Avenue or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
alligator Alcatraz here in
Oh,
Florida.
yeah, yeah.
God, I can't even imagine what's probably going on over there. I can't even. I mean, God, I just don't. It's almost too horrible to think about what what really takes place behind closed doors, especially when there's no real oversight. There's no real accountability for deaths, for murder, for yeah, it's
Cover ups. Cover
cover up
ups.
paperwork that makes it seem like yeah, you can, paperwork's a motherfucker, and you know how it is, man. It's even in the military and stuff, as the
I
paperwork's,
know.
the paperwork, that's the story. It doesn't matter what the hell really happened or this or that. And that goes both ways in prison and basically anywhere. You know?
Right. Miss Kohut said some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. We know that. Yes,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
When I was in prison, I was in a dorm called M Dorm in Taylor CI. All of us at night would look out the windows and see these motherfuckers burning crosses out there in the woods. What? And that's not made up. That is
Did they
not made
have,
up. That's
did they at least
real.
have the sheets on their head so you couldn't
We didn't see the
identify them?
sheets. We just saw that burning cross out there in the woods. Like, they were pretty far away, but that was real. And these officers, I mean, watch on Hulu, the Grand Nighthawk on Hulu. Man, I know some of those officers. The KKK is alive and like popping up like mushrooms all over Florida and probably all down like
Everywhere.
everywhere,
Everywhere.
everywhere. And it's despicable. I can't stand it. And I just wish, yeah. And who's talking about it? I mean, even if you can't talk about it, half the stuff you try finding or discovering, oh man,
It don't exist. It exists somewhere in somebody's back room.
yeah, yeah,
Okay?
yeah. That's real.
Absolutely. Evie said judges get kickbacks for filing these prisons too. Private prisons are bullshit and racist. We know
I
that.
wouldn't. They aren't the only ones getting kickbacks.
I'm sure.
I know there's some good judges, I'm sure. And one of them endorsed my book, Count Time. She's a badass. She worked in in Maryland, and but she's like an exception. She really cares about sentencing and who she's sentencing, and I've researched her story heavily and stuff, and she was a real one, man. And but there are definitely backdoor channels and bribes. I mean, come on, like those don't happen.
We know they happen.
I mean, they happening every day. Jeez, politicians, man, they're the I don't know. I don't know how anyone gets into that environment and can't be corrupt, even if you have good ideals in the very beginning. Once you see it's kind of like going to prison for the first time. You know nothing about it. You don't even know the real landscape. You haven't even you're green. You don't know shit. And then you get into this political environment, you see how it's really done. You think those people don't become desensitized too? Like, I can't get anything done that I want unless I do this, unless I do this. And then that bleeds into lowering your principles,
Standards?
your values,
Yes.
your standards. And then next thing you know, you're as corrupt as the people you were trying to fight in the beginning, man. And
Exactly. It never ends. Once you
yeah,
take one thing, that's it. They got you.
yeah. And you can justify it all you want,
Oh,
but
my wife needed a heart transplant.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Oh, you can justify a thing, man. Anyone can justify whatever, but corruption, man, it's just wrong, man. Just anything that like is hurting people, suppressing people. Like, come on, man. Look at our country, how it was built. Like, man, we've suppressed people for so long, and now we're so masterful at it now that we make it seem so normal that you don't even know what we're doing anymore. You don't even know that we're suppressing you, but we are. I don't know. Yeah, it's just I
It's
try not.
insanity.
It's
It's
insane.
insanity. Keep repeating the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay?
it's so real. Oh shit! Let me just respond. Hey everyone. I love how people are joining. That's so cool, man.
Yes. So,
I'm trying to
are
read
there,
some comments too.
okay.
Stay close to the source. Stay close to the source. All right.
Self-care. My therapist says to do it for yourself, to be the example. Self-care is
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah,
You can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. That's for sure.
yeah.
Okay, love and respect yourself. It starts at home.
Hmm.
They said community starts at home, and it does. The
Yeah,
community that you want in the world starts with you taking
that's
care of
right. That's
yourself.
what I was saying earlier, man. It's you know, I think I think that's one of the most valuable things that anyone can do is just like learn how to be comfortable within their own bodies, learn how to be comfortable with who you are, but at the same time, don't get so shut off to just make it only about you because we're all people, we're all here on this world, we're sharing it, and we all have to find a way to work together. And it seems so impossible. It seems so impossible because there's so many righteous causes that are like, man, I saw MS and Jackie, I saw one of their lives, man. That girl was fire. And
She
her
was.
cause is so righteous, so real, man. I love it. And I just am like, damn, man, there's so many powerful people, man. I just don't understand how the hell we can't fix what's going on now, man. Like
We can.
we are, aren't we? Yeah, we are fixing it. And that's what it takes, these righteous individuals to step up to say no more of this. We can't have this. We can't allow this. And just going for it. Like, just
And one of the things that we need to stop doing is comparing ourselves to other people. I
oh
am
man.
not in competition with you or nobody else on this platform. I am unique. Each and every one of us are unique,
Mm-hmm.
and we each have our own gifts, skills, and expertise. Do you? I don't care what
Do
Sue
you?
or Lisa or whoever doing whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do you
I'm
to
doing
the
it
best of
too.
your ability. Then you've done all you can.
And that means something. That's what I'm saying. It counts. It all counts. It's count time, baby. Yeah.
Yes, make it count. Let's make it count. Okay, each and every one of us. Let's make it count
Let's
today.
make it
This is the Mother's Day weekend, and I want to know what you're gonna get for your mother.
I can't tell you because she's watching. And no, man, she means everything to me. If I could give
I
her
know
the
you got
world,
her.
if I could give her the world, I would, man.
Okay.
But I know all she wants for me is to have my world be bright, to let my world bloom for others, and to keep being me, and to just keep growing, and to like, be positive and to not hate. One of my mom's main sayings back in the day was what was it? Dang, I'm having a lot, but it was along the lines of like, do good, be good. Like, it was so simple. Like, don't hate others, don't judge others for what they look like or who they are. She taught me like, definitely, like that's one thing that really helped me in prison. Oh, I went in, I was not racist. And I understood from the beginning that like, you know, man, I had some people who were racist against me. And it's like, but
What?
I'm not judging you because, man, and I see what the hell happened here in America and what the fuck's going on, man. I get it, dude. I can't even imagine the type of pain. I wrote a story about this. It's called The Boogeyman. And, we all have this image of what the boogeyman is or what this or that is and whatnot. But my idea of what the boogeyman was pain, was suffering, was seeing someone so like hurting from the system, from injustice, from just what it does to a soul. And I encountered this, and it's a remarkable story, man. But this guy changed my life. He died while I was in there. I ended up seeing him years later, man. But I identified with him as the boogeyman, and but the boogeyman taught me more than anybody else because I saw this man's individuals suffering, like saw why, like I could just like feel it. You know, when you get in front of someone and you can just like, there's this energy about them that it just courses throughout anybody that comes in contact with it. And this man directed it at me one, and I was like, whoa, man, this motherfucker hates me. And then later down the road, we ended up building a relationship, man, and our stories like crossed paths, man. And this dude changed my life, man. And I'll always be thankful for it. You know, it was a short little brief lesson, but man, it helped me be a better person, man. Yeah. So I don't know his name. I never learned his name. He died while I was in there, but he was a good. I don't know if he was a good dude, but man, he changed my life, you know, and that's what life's about, man. I believe. Sorry,
Absolutely.
I got off topic.
No, 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 no. That's
I was
wonderful.
getting
And
emotional. I was reliving the past.
no, it's all good. This has been an amazing conversation.
Yes, thank you.
Um, yes, and thank you too. And this is a Mother's Day weekend, and everybody here have a safe and wonderful Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for this conversation. We have to keep in
Thank
touch.
you, Margaret. I really appreciate it, and I hope we do. And you know, and let's make it count.
Yes,
Let's
let's
make it
make it
count
count.
for all the mothers out there.
Yes, yes. All right. Thank
All
you
right.
all. Thank you all so much. All right, you all
Thank
take
you
care.
all. Take
All right,
care.
bye bye.
Bye.